You're listening to Gift Biz Unwrapped, episode 143.
Attention gifters, bakers, crafters, and makers. Pursuing your dream can be fun. Whether you have an established business or are looking to start one now, you are in the right place. This is Gift Biz Unwrapped, helping you turn your skill into a flourishing business. Join us for an episode packed full of invaluable guidance, resources, and the support you need to grow your gift biz. Here is your host, Gift Biz gal, Sue Monheit.
Well, hello and Happy New Year 2018. If you're listening to this show the day it's actually going live, it is New Year's, and hopefully you have had a wonderful celebration and are as excited and charged up about the possibilities that the new year can bring as I am. The crossing over into the new year is always a marker in the sand. We have an opportunity to reset some of the things that we were doing last year that we might want to change. And of course, there are those infamous New Year's resolutions that sometimes hold for a short time and most of the time don't carry through for any more than a month. Well, today I want to talk with you about the power of purpose. And this is something that I incorporated into my life and my business last year that really helped me realize significant changes. I'm so excited to share this with you. And actually, it's a message that I used during a recent launch that I did last month as we were switching over our Gift Biz Builder program into a membership site. If you're interested in knowing more about that, you can check out all the details over on giftbizunwrapped.com/giftbizbuilder. But today, what I want to share with you is how you can make changes in your activity and in the mindset that you have connected with your business to help you achieve those resolutions so they don't dwindle away after a short time, and how you can make sure that the activities that you're doing every single day are moving the ball forward towards the goals that you create for your business. I want you to reflect back for just a moment on last year and be really honest with yourself. How did you do? Maybe you stretched yourself to new heights and you saw those results in your sales numbers. Or maybe you added something into your business like a website, or you started doing trade shows, or you entered into corporate accounts, and you're super pleased with everything that you've accomplished. If that's the case, high five from me, kudos to you, you are golden. Or could you have done better? I don't know if you're like me, but I'm always feeling like I could have done something better. Even if I'm happy with my results, I always feel like I could have done more. I'm always driven to move forward. Or maybe you're someone who was really serious about starting your business last year or doing something specific within your business, but for whatever reason, it got delayed. Things just didn't come together. And you're sitting here now at this point and you didn't achieve what you had set out to do for last year. No matter where you fall in this spectrum, if you're someone who feels that you could have done better, I want you right here and now to forgive yourself. We always do the best that we can with what we have, the tools that we have, things that we know, people that we've met that have helped us along the way. So I want you right now, no matter what's happened in the past, if you feel like you came up a little short, that's the past. Now's the future. And I want you to forgive yourself if you're just feeling like you weren't able to achieve what you wanted to. That history does not need to continue and pave the way for the future. You can change everything right here and right now. My strategy will help you to do differently so that you can produce stronger results for next year. What if next year there was no more guessing if what you were doing was the right thing for your business? And what if there was no more focusing on the wrong things and wasting time and money? And what if there was no more comparing yourself to others and feeling like you're just not keeping up? I have experienced all of those things, and I've also experienced the challenge of so many things to do. For me right now, it's the combination of running two different businesses. For you, it could be you have a full-time job and you're trying to start your business on the side, or you've started a business out of a hobby or a craft that you love, and you're at home and also raising your children, or homeschooling, or any number of different types of things that keep vying for our attention and our time. I remember those days oh so well, and I'm sure you can relate to it too. I knew something had to change, and finally I figured it out. I want to share what I consciously started doing this year that has allowed everything to fall into place. It comes down to having the power of purpose in your business and the power of purpose in your days. I'm not talking about being superficially purposeful. I'm talking about being deeply purposeful. Now, this may not make a total sense to you right yet, but it's going to in a second. Have you ever been so busy all day that there's just not a minute to spare? But then at the end of the day, when you shut off your computer and you leave your work area, you look back and it's like, I really didn't accomplish that much. How was it that I was so busy, but I really didn't accomplish anything? Me too. I've been there until I started using this new strategy of mine. And when I did, my activity level bumped up tremendously from podcasts and Facebook Lives and hiring in some staff, talking on stage, talking on some online summits. I can just go on and on. And that increase in activity also showed me benefits on the financial spectrum. And not only that, let's face it, we all talk as entrepreneurs about having balance. I finally felt this last year for really the first time in a long time that I had some breathing room where I was really enjoying family time, out-of-town family trips, celebrating weddings and reunions, and a wonderful 2-week vacation with my husband. And it was all done not by working more hours, actually by working less. It comes down to being purposeful with my business and my days. And when I did that, all of my activity was intentional. I was able to filter out distractions and time wasters, and I was focusing on revenue generating tasks. So I got more done in less time with bigger results. That is what the power of purpose can do for you. You see, being busy all day doesn't always equate to sales. Let's face it, everybody has 24 hours in a day. How is it that some people can get so much done and see success in their businesses, and other people with the exact same 24 hours, even though their intent is there, aren't able to move forward? I want to start giving you the details of the power of purpose strategy. And to make this a little bit easier, I've created a worksheet for you. It's available at giftbizunwrapped.com/143. It lays out the strategy that I'm going to share with you and also gives you a place where you can put in your own details so you can start using this strategy right away. There are two categories that I want to focus on. One is the overall company purposes, and the other is the daily task purposes. We're going to dive into the overall company purposes first. And this is something that you do one time for your business. Maybe if you change products at some point, you might do it twice. But the point is, as you're figuring out what your company is all about, these are things you want to get really clear on right in the beginning. When we're in my Gift Biz Builder program, this is the very first step. We talk about defining all of this right up front because it really helps you pave the path for everything that you do as you move forward. So again, we're going to talk about overall company purposes, and this is something that you do one time, and this should live with your company pretty much through its entire life. Now, the overall company purposes are broken into the purpose of your business and the purpose of your product. Let's talk about the purpose of your business first. Now, I can hear some of you saying, well, Sue, that's obvious. I want to be in business because I want to make money. Well, I want to challenge that thinking a little bit because if you are only in business to make money, then when things get tough, when the inevitable obstacles occur, if you don't have a deeper passion than just making money, you are not going to have the strength and determination to move forward. You need to find a deeper purpose for the reason that you're in business. And to demonstrate this, I would like to introduce you to two women who both have a candle company. Their names are Jessica and Maria. Now, if they both had just a very superficial purpose, they may say, I love candles and they're fun to make, so I'm thinking I can earn some extra money on the side. You see how that is pretty much a solely financial motivation? That is not going to pull them through when they encounter struggles or have challenges in their business. But think of this. Jessica's purpose is, I want to form some balance in my life while I'm home raising my 3 children. Adult activities and interaction will help keep me sane and makes me feel like I'm contributing financially to the family. So there is, of course, a little bit of a financial element, but it's way more about fulfilling her quality of life, balance in her life, being able to bring in an income to the family while also raising children, and being stimulated with more adult type activities. Now let's look at Maria. She's in business for an entirely different reason. She says, I want to start a business now so I have something to move into when I retire. That way I won't feel lost or without direction. Again, a deeper level of purpose to starting a business. Knowing your business purpose grounds everything you do as you move forward. So I want you to think right now, what's yours? If you've already downloaded my worksheet, you can start scribbling notes right there, jot down thoughts, and I want you to be super honest with yourself. This has nothing to do with something that you're going to put on your website. This is something very personal to you. It could be that you want to be recognized and be proud as a woman entrepreneur who has their own business. Maybe you secretly, or not so secretly, despise your boss and are just tired of the 9-to-5 where everybody else controls your hours and your activities. Maybe you've been thinking for a long time about starting your own business and you finally want to do it and prove it to yourself and others that you can turn what is a hobby into a real business. There are so many reasons to start a business, and I hope I've presented to you that it should not be just about making money. There's a deeper purpose and a deeper reason. I'll share with you my business purposes. The reason that I started the ribbon print company is to build and create something that I could sell down the road. Now, any ribbon print customers who are listening, don't start freaking out. I don't look at selling anytime in the near future. I'm thinking maybe 15, 20 years from now, something like that. But that is my intent and purpose, for it to be financially rewarding later while I still love what I'm doing within that business. The reason I started the Gift Biz brand with this podcast and the courses and all of that is because of the reward that I get when I hear people coming back to me and telling me that a strategy that I shared with them, or some type of coaching that we did, or a tool that I gave them, in some way I've had an impact and helped them grow their business. Personally, for me, that is so rewarding. It makes me feel like, apart from my children and my family, which of course is number one, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something useful. Now, seriously, that's the reason. And it might seem so superficial and it's not connected with money or anything like that, but that truly is so rewarding to me. And this is a company that when I sell the ribbon print company, it's something that I can still take with me and move forward. I wanted to just share that with you because it helps, again, for you to understand the personal level that the business purpose should have for you. So let's move on now to the product purpose. When you think of what you offer, you want to get to the same level that you did with the company purpose. So to continue with the example of our candles, if you were a candle maker, You would not say, oh, they're pretty and they smell so good. That's why people should buy them. It doesn't work because there's not enough motivation and individuality. There's not enough that separates you from somebody else who makes candles. But what it could be is something like this. My candles offer unique scent combinations that provide proven relaxing effects such as calming nerves and invoking peacefulness. When you identify your product's purpose, which is done from the customer's perspective, you now have a differentiating feature that makes your company unique. Again, this does not focus on how much money you're going to make or what the product is. It focuses on the results or the outcome that your customer receives by using your product or your service. This completes the overall company purposes. Again, your business purpose is your deep down in your heart reason why you are starting or already have your own business. And your product purpose is from the customer's perspective. What is it that they achieve or they receive? What is the result or the outcome when they use and purchase your product or your service? If you're an existing business already, I want you to also define this for yourself. It's not just for new businesses. Many people have never actually put on paper or become clear to themselves about the company purpose or their product purpose. And when you do become very clear on these points, this alone is powerful information that grounds you as you move forward. The download could be very handy just to keep this all together for you. You can access that at giftbizunwrapped.com/143. I think this is a good place for us all to just stop, take a deep breath, and listen to a word from our sponsor.
This podcast is made possible thanks to the support of the Ribbon Print Company. Create custom ribbons right in your store or craft studio in seconds. Visit theribbonprintcompany.com for more information.
Now let's move on to the daily task purposes. And underneath that, we also have two categories. One is goals and the other is projects. Starting with goals, there is a lot of information out there about setting goals for your year, so I'm not going to be going into a lot of that now. Suffice it to say that you should have 3 overarching goals for a year. In other words, 3 things that you really want to get accomplished this year. They should be SMART goals. Again, you can Google what SMART goals are. You want to be very clear and write down what those goals are. The reason is then when you encounter other things that inevitably are going to come up throughout your year, you can analyze whether you should take on new opportunities based on whether they are advancing you towards one of these 3 goals. So now, for example, let's say you have an opportunity to go to a conference. You would ask the question of yourself, if by going to this show, is that going to get me further along with one of the goals that I have set for myself for the year? If it is, then the answer would be yes, you should go to that conference. But if it's a conference that isn't going to provide you with further information, something that you need right now for this year that will help you to advance your goal, then the answer to that should be no. I know people who will go to conferences just for the social part of it, but I would question that in terms of, are you wasting time and wasting money, that precious dollar that you're using to build your business? Is that the right decision for you right now? You can apply the same thinking to such things as starting a blog. Why should you start a blog? Because someone said you should, or because you can tie it into one of your business goals? Being very clear on your goals gives you the groundwork to decide yes or no to things like this. And I want to share with you a theory that one of my podcast guests gave me, I think this past summer. I can't recall what episode it was right off the top here. But her point was, there are some things that just are not in alignment with what you're doing right now. So you can think of it as there may be something that you really want to do, but it can be done someday, just not today. So I want you to think about that too as you're going through this coming year. When you have your 3 goals, and if something comes up that you really, really, really want to do, but it's not in alignment, say to yourself, someday, but just not today. This also helps you avoid shiny object syndrome and jumping from one thing to another. Things that are disconnected from your goals and cause confusion and disruption are wasting precious dollars with no outcome. You want to stay crystal clear on what your 3 goals for the year are. Then we move on and talk about project purposes. Projects are all those tasks that you do underneath a goal so that you can achieve the goal. These are these little step-by-step pieces that when they build on top of each other, they end up leading you to success. For example, if you had a goal of creating an online shop, some of your projects might be determining what platform to use, what the design and the flow of the content will look like, who's going to actually do it, and then getting to all the steps of building the site. All of these projects are done through daily work, and this is where things are most likely to fall apart. You know what your goals are and what your individual projects are to reach the goal, but then what happens throughout the day? A girlfriend of yours calls and she says, "Oh, I've got to tell you what just happened this past weekend." And what do? You spend an hour and a half on the phone with her hearing all about her weekend. Or you're in the middle of a project and you get distracted. You say, "You know what? I'm starting to get a little bit hungry, and this idea of a big fluffy bowl of popcorn looks really good to me right now." Or you hear something on your phone and you see that you have a message and it must be important, and you check it out, and then you see that there's some things in Facebook that you might need to look at. So you go from one thing to another, and all of a sudden you're watching cat videos and another hour has passed through your day. There are a million things that can take you away. The truth is, we create distractions because it's easier to do these things than work on the activities that produce results. It's human nature. We can distract ourselves all day long. And I want to repeat this because it's so important to understand. We create our own distractions because it's easier to do those things than to work on the activities that will actually produce results. This is why at the end of the day, we've accomplished nothing, even though we're busy all day long. When you apply the power of purpose daily, you start to focus on the right things, understand the value of the activities that you're doing, and you use time and energy to affect results. Now, I bet you're saying, "Okay, Sue, that sounds all great, but then how do you do it? You've just told me, what I need to do, what I need to be looking at, the value of all these purposes, but how do I actually do this?" I've heard recently that we are exposed to 2,000 bits of information every single second. So no surprise that there's such a challenge for us to just stay on task. So what you need to do is periodically, I do this about every 30 minutes or so, consciously look at what you're doing and say, am I still on task? Or did I somehow get off task? Now, I've been telling you that I've been using this strategy for a whole year. I've become more conscious and it's becoming more natural for me to stay on task, but I still get sidetracked often. However, what happens is because I'm consciously checking myself every 30 minutes or so, I can get myself back on task. I'm not going to say that if your girlfriend calls you and wants to tell you all about her super exciting weekend, that you're not going to talk to her. Of course you are. But in the back of your mind, you can be saying, okay, I get the fact that I'm not still on task. And then maybe you'll limit that conversation to only 15 or 20 minutes, not an hour and a half. Or if you're in the middle of a really challenging project, you've hit a roadblock, you're not sure which way to move forward, instead of figuring out the right way, you think, well, maybe I'll go pour myself another cup of coffee. or maybe it's time for me to have a bathroom break or something like that. I suggest to you that you say, all right, I can do all that after I move through this next step. Because remember, we like to create distractions when things get harder or when there's things that we're less comfortable doing or don't know how to do. This is the way you move your business forward without giving in to gravitating to those easier projects or just going and taking time on things that really don't advance anything in your business, even though it's fun. Like daydreaming or straightening your shop or doing a little bit of shopping online or watering the plants in your office or more Facebook. What do you think, guys? Who's guilty? I'm raising my hand over here. I've done it time and time again. And that's why this strategy is so easy, but so powerful, because when you grasp it and when you start implementing intentional checking throughout the day that you're staying on purpose, it is so powerful and will lead you to results in your business. I've seen it work for me. I have walked out of my office on days feeling like I have moved forward. I've accomplished what I've needed to accomplish, and my goals are being completed faster in less time because I'm being purposeful with my intentions, my activities, and they're always aligned with what my true goals are. Make yourself a sticky note and put it where you can see it regularly throughout your day. Or program on your phone that an alarm is going to go off at certain times throughout the day that will trigger you to remember to analyze if you're on task. Whatever it is that you need to do to ensure that you're checking in on yourself throughout the day will be really helpful. And as you proceed forward and as you start integrating this in and really consciously doing it, it starts to become natural. Every time you start to flip onto a different task, you'll start catching yourself and saying, wait, should I be doing this or not? And if you should, then of course you carry on. And if not, you redirect yourself. This is the power of purpose. The very best thing about this power of purpose is it doesn't cost you anything to implement, and you can start today. So download my worksheet because that walks you through everything. Again, giftbizunwrapped.com/143. Make sure to set up your business purpose and your product purpose. This is something that will be a guiding light overall. You'll do it once for your company. And then you'll get into the daily task purposes, the goals, and the projects. And this is what you consciously work with to make sure it's in alignment. As those big projects come throughout the year and you want to say yes or no to them, and as those daily projects start, you get a little bit challenged and you naturally try to pull yourself off course. You now know how to keep yourself on target so the project gets done and you advance. I can promise you'll see the same types of growth in activity and growth in results, I mean revenue, that I've been able to see this past year. So who's with me? Raise your hand. I would love to know if you're going to be implementing this and how it's working for you. You can always reach out to me by email, sue@giftbizunwrapped.com. Tell me how the power of purpose is working for you, or anything else you'd like to share with me about the podcast. And if you're getting value from this show, go over and subscribe on iTunes. That way you'll automatically get the new shows when they come live. They'll come right down to your phone. Further, if you're up for leaving a rating and review, I would appreciate that too. Those types of things, the subscribing, rating, and reviewing, especially in iTunes, gives more exposure to the show. So other creators like you will find the show, be able to listen, and also advance their business. I always say it's a way of helping to pay it forward to other makers just like us. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And until next week, I hope you implement the power of purpose. Bye for now.
This episode is all wrapped up, but your gift biz journey continues. It's your time to experience the pride and satisfaction of turning your passion into a profitable business. Join the Gift Biz Builder program and access valuable lessons, worksheets, and live Q&A sessions addressing your specific challenges. You also have the opportunity to connect with a community of gift biz builders just like you. Head over to giftbizunwrapped.com/giftbizbuilder and get started today. And until next time, happy business crafting.